What I'm about to share with you could completely change the way you see women, how you interact with them, and most importantly, how successful you are in your relationships. This isn't about pickup lines or manipulative tactics. It's about understanding something fundamental that most men overlook, something rarely discussed openly, but that influences nearly every decision women make in dating and relationships. After years of studying psychology, communication, and relationship dynamics, I've noticed a clear pattern. There's often a gap between what women say they want and what their behavior actually shows. Once you understand this gap, everything changes. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of attraction, the emotional frameworks behind female behavior, and the hidden truths that even many women don't fully recognize about themselves. Here's the core idea. Women tend to make relationship decisions emotionally first, then use logic afterward to explain those choices. And the key is they genuinely believe they made those decisions rationally from the start. This isn't a flaw or a trick. It's simply how the emotional and logical parts of the brain work together. Women are often extremely intelligent, especially in emotional and social awareness, but their brain processes attraction and connection through emotions before reason comes into play. When a woman says, "I don't know why, but there's just something about him," that's the truth. The feeling came first. Then her mind tries to find reasons that make sense. He's ambitious, funny, kind to animals. These are post-rationalizations, not the source of the feeling. This isn't about being deceptive. Often, even she isn't fully aware of it. Society teaches women that they should make logical, rational choices in relationships. So admitting that their heart led and their head followed can feel vulnerable. So instead of saying, "I'm attracted to him and I don't know why," it becomes, "I'm attracted to him because he's successful and stable." But in reality, she's simply just attracted to him, period. The rest is her brain working to justify a feeling that already exists. Why does this matter? Because most men go about attraction the wrong way. They try to convince women logically by presenting their achievements, their stability, their plan. But those things, while valuable, don't create attraction. They only help reinforce it after it's already there. What actually creates attraction are emotional experiences. You need to be someone who makes her feel something: excitement, curiosity, tension, comfort. The specific emotion can vary, but what matters is that it feels real and intense. This is where the nice guy often struggles. He says, "I'd be a great boyfriend. I'm respectful, reliable, I'll treat you right." And while those things are good, they don't spark attraction on their own. Meanwhile, the men women claim they shouldn't be attracted to often create emotional highs and lows. They're unpredictable. They make her feel something deeply, and her emotional brain connects with that before her logical mind has a chance to weigh in. Understanding this shifts everything. You stop trying to explain yourself into attraction. Instead, you focus on connection, on being present, on creating shared experiences, on evoking genuine emotional responses. There are three core emotional states that tend to drive female attraction, and once you understand how to tap into them, not manipulatively, you'll notice a dramatic shift in how women respond to you. That understanding is where we go next. First, uncertainty and challenge. Women are often attracted to men they can't completely figure out. This isn't about pretending to be mysterious, it's about actually being complex, having depth, and maintaining your own identity. When you're too available, too predictable, or too eager to please, you remove the natural tension that keeps attraction alive. That's why the idea of playing hard to get sometimes works, but not for the reason most men assume. It's not about acting cold or distant. It's about genuinely having a life of your own. A purpose, passions, responsibilities. You're not pretending to be busy. You are busy with meaningful things that don't revolve entirely around her. That kind of independence creates an authentic sense of challenge. Second, emotional stimulation. Women crave emotional variety and intensity, not drama, but depth. This means being able to guide her through different emotional states, making her laugh, having deep, thoughtful conversations, creating playful tension, showing your own vulnerability. Most men tend to operate on just one or two emotional notes, often either safe and polite or trying to impress. But women are emotionally dynamic, and they're drawn to partners who can meet them in that space. If you're emotionally flat, the connection feels one. If you're emotionally present and expressive, you become unforgettable. Third, security within excitement. This is the paradox that trips up a lot of men. Women want both. They want the man who excites them and the man they can rely on. This isn't a contradiction, it's a balance. You can be spontaneous and adventurous while also being consistent in your values and reliable in your actions. You can create emotional highs while offering emotional safety. The excitement keeps her engaged. The trust keeps her connected. Now let's talk about a communication truth that changes everything. When women talk about their problems, most aren't looking for immediate solutions, they're looking for emotional connection and validation. Logical, solution-oriented men often struggle with this. She brings up a stressful day at work. You offer 3 quick solutions. She seems annoyed. You feel unappreciated. But what's really happening is this. Talking is how many women process their emotions. They're not asking you to fix it. They want you to understand how it feels. They want to feel heard, supported, and emotionally safe. The better response: say something like, "That sounds really frustrating," or "I can understand why that would upset you," or "How are you feeling about it now?" These responses validate her emotional state without trying to fix it. Once she feels understood, then she might be open to solutions. But if you skip emotional validation and go straight into problem solving, you short-circuit the connection. Now let's break down the attraction timeline, something most men completely misunderstand. Women don't always explain how attraction builds for them because they assume men get it. But most men don't, and this miscommunication ruins more potential connections than almost anything else. Phase 1 is the initial impression, which happens within the first 30 seconds to about 3 minutes. This isn't purely about looks. It's about energy, confidence, presence. Do you seem comfortable in your own skin? Do you carry yourself like someone who knows who they are? That vibe determines whether she sees you as a potential option or not, and it happens almost entirely subconsciously. Phase 2 is the emotional evaluation, which begins during the first conversation and continues through the next few interactions. This is when she's assessing how she feels when she's around you. Are you interesting, fun, emotionally grounded? Do you make her feel attractive, valued, and engaged? Do you hold her attention or just try to earn her approval? This phase isn't about proving yourself, it's about building emotional resonance. Still mostly subconscious, still driven by emotion. Phase 3, logical assessment. After emotional attraction is established, this is when her logical brain fully engages. Now she's asking, does this person make sense for me long term? She evaluates your compatibility, shared values, reliability, and overall emotional and mental maturity. But here's the key. She only gets to this phase after phases 1 and 2. Most men try to lead with phase 3, talking about their job, their financial stability, or their long-term goals when the woman is still in phase 1 or 2. It's like trying to teach calculus to someone who hasn't learned basic math yet. The timing is off and the connection fails to develop. Let's talk about the most common mistakes men make because they don't understand this process. Mistake number 1, over-explaining and over-qualifying. When a man senses a woman's interest fading, his instinct might be to explain why she should be interested by listing his accomplishments, good intentions, and positive traits. But attraction is emotional, not logical. Over-explaining signals insecurity and it kills the emotional experience. Mistake number 2, treating all women the same. Some men develop a one-size-fits-all approach to attraction, not realizing that emotional connection is highly individual. What works for one woman may not affect another. Real connection requires presence and responsiveness to her, not just applying generic tactics. Mistake number 3, assuming attraction is permanent. Many men think of attraction as binary. She's either into you or she's not. But female attraction is more like a flame. It can grow, fade, or reignite, depending on how you engage with her emotionally. It needs to be maintained over time. Mistake number 4, neglecting emotional maintenance. Once in a relationship, a lot of men switch into provider mode. They focus on doing things, working hard, fixing problems, staying responsible, thinking that's enough. But for most women, ongoing emotional connection is essential to maintaining attraction. Without emotional stimulation, the spark fades, even if everything else is stable. Let's go deeper into the advanced psychology. Why women test men. This is something few women talk about openly, and many men completely misunderstand. Women test men, especially in the early stages, but not consciously or manipulatively. These tests are usually subconscious ways of evaluating your emotional strength, confidence, and authenticity. When she cancels plans last minute, she's not necessarily flaking. She may be subconsciously seeing how you handle disappointment. When she mentions other men in conversation, she might not be trying to provoke jealousy, she could be feeling out your security and composure. When she becomes emotional or reactive, she's not just being dramatic. She's unconsciously testing whether you can handle the full spectrum of her emotions without shutting down, getting defensive, or trying to fix her. The men who pass these tests don't even realize they're being tested. They stay grounded, they respond calmly, they don't try to control her, and they don't take things personally. That kind of presence signals deep emotional maturity, and it's incredibly attractive. Now here's the ultimate secret, what women really want men to know, even if they don't say it outright. Consciously, women may not express these things, but subconsciously, they deeply desire men who understand them. Not through manipulation, but through awareness. They want men who can navigate emotions, create meaningful experiences, and remain consistent and secure without being taught how to do it. They want men who can be logical problem solvers and emotional connectors, men who see their complexity emotional and rational, strong and soft, independent and connected. They want to feel understood without needing to explain themselves, step by step. And now the final, most important point. How to use this knowledge ethically. This isn't about manipulation. This is about connection. This information isn't meant to trick or deceive women. It's meant to help you understand and connect with them on a deeper level. The goal isn't to fake emotional intelligence or pretend to be someone you're not. The goal is to become the kind of man who naturally creates positive emotional experiences because you've developed real confidence, emotional maturity, and character. Use what you've learned to grow, not to manipulate. Become someone who earns attraction, not someone who chases it. Focus on developing your communication, your presence, your purpose, and your ability to be emotionally grounded and authentic. If this video opened your eyes to something deeper about attraction and relationships, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what resonated with you most. And remember, the goal isn't to become someone who can manufacture attraction. The goal is to become someone who deserves it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.